Man.
Good morning. Is that better?
What happened? You got a text already?
Immediately. Good morning, beloveds. Morgan's levels are super low.
Oh, okay. All right.
Turn me up in the headphones. Ambush, don't.
You're right.
Thank you, Fiancé.
You're what the people need. You're the people need, you know?
No. That's not.
In stereo. Right? Mm-hmm.
Shout out to John Legend. I don't remember what that album is called that has the song Stereo on it. But
such a good album.
I worked at Starbucks when it came out.
So you have it memorized.
I definitely do. Wow. But it was like what is that called? That program, like Muzak or something.
Yeah, yeah.
It was like, oh, well, fine. At least we get to listen to this.
Yeah.
I'll take it.
It's really interesting because we had something similar at Boston Market.
Mm-hmm.
And it's piped in. It's satellite radio. It's piped in a program from whoever.
Corporate is what they call
corporate.
It.
Yes. Yes. And it was just like, we're getting this again. Great.
Well, it was all just playlists, right? They would make playlists, and then you could choose. I would like to listen to whatever your Starbucks 80s mix is.
Oh, they let you choose?
Well, yeah,
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah. You could change it.
We could not. It's what came in. So, and they wanted it kind of be, universal for all the Boston markets in that area.
Oh, that's cool. Like you guys were all playing the same songs at the same time. That's not weird at all.
Right. I
think that's called mind control.
It is. So I took my control.
Oh.
Hello.
Okay.
Hello.
Bars.
Hello.
This morning.
Yeah. I on my shifts, if there was a dinner shift, I would bring in another device.
Yeah.
And and hijack the audio and play like D'Angelo. Like I will play full albums. I started putting together CDs
in your full
DJ
Neo
mode.
Soul era.
Listen.
Now you're playing How Does It Feel at dinner.
It was so people were loving it. They were complimenting. It was just
not Soulful Sundays.
Yes.
Okay, I am the weakest.
I was killing it in there. Shout out to me.
Wow.
What?
No, that was great.
Okay. I need a Boston in the market out here, man. Well, we're getting in the frozen food section. Just don't cut it. I missed that.
I don't think we can eat either, but we could move forward.
Wow. The cream spinach. Ooh, so good. Morning, y'all. It's been a while, huh? It's been
Arctic
so long.
Blast 2024.
Everybody good out there?
Did y'all make
slip and
it?
Falls? Yeah, man.
Out of the Snowmageddon?
I had a couple slips, but no falls.
I'm so happy to hear that.
Yeah.
I read that they're on a normal winter day kind of thing. Oh, it got a little snowy. There's like 40 slip and fall visits to the ER.
Yikes.
And on Friday after the ice storm, did it keep icing that day? I don't know. Yeah. It kept going. There was like 240 or something like that.
Yikes.
Walk-ins.
You know what? Falls. I think I did see something to that effect, and it was like, this is the highest since 2016.
Yes, that's exactly. Yeah. If anybody wants to know, there are a few dates and events that stick in Ambush's mind that literally they just will not go away.
No.
One of them
is so relevant. It's like the Mayan calendar.
The Arctic blast of 2016.
The Ice-Mageddon.
We got to come up with a better word.
Oh, okay. Is that your way of telling me I wasn't
No, hot? It's only because I had just used Snowmageddon.
Oh, okay.
So that's Ice-Pocalypse, something like that.
Ice-Pocalypse, I like it.
Okay. The Ice-Pocalypse of 2016.
Bruh.
Is one I barely remember.
Oh my gosh.
And by that I just mean I couldn't give you specifics. But I made fun of Ambush for trying to bring 8 shovels.
It's true.
From Philadelphia.
It's true.
And his younger brother would not allow him to take 8 shovels.
He was helping me pack the truck and was like, give it to me.
He was like, do you know where you're going? And you were like, yeah, but do you know these are my things? And he was like, yeah, but do you know where you're going? And then I went and put my nose in it and was like, yeah, do you know where you're going? We're not going to need all that. And immediately, the first winter of Ambush living here, it went down in the town.
Yeah.
Shut everything down.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think, a point of contention in our relationship ever since.
I don't know.
In the way, oh, no, I do. In the way that he likes to, say things like, well, I did have a great shovel for this. I had the perfect shovel, actually, for this driveway here. And you made me leave it. Now I've got to go buy the ice chipper thing and the shovel and
need the spade, need the top shovel. There's a science to it.
One that I definitely don't know and should not have had anything to say.
Bless your life for not knowing it. Bless you. Yeah, I told that story to a couple people, and I'm glad we have access to the airwaves, so a greater audience can hear it. I apologize for bringing that wintry weather, ice apocalypse out here to the Pacific Northwest. That was the year I moved out here, as Morgan stated. So if you know Ambush, you may be entitled to some compensation.
No, you're not.
If you know Ambush and you were injured in the ice apocalypse of 2016, you may be entitled to compensation. Yeah, that was wild, man. That was wild. I feel like, I will say this, though. I feel like this year, Portland is the most prepared I've seen it. Like, when I didn't buy salt before everything started, and it wasn't because I didn't think we didn't need salt. It was really because I was tired. Yeah. And my hands were full.
Like, how many things can I get?
I just bought trash cans. Where am I going to put I'll deal with the ramifications of not having salt. And then when it got to the point where we needed salt, I went back to that Ace Hardware and I'm like, there's no way there's going to be salt in here. Like, this parking lot is mobbed. Like, there's not.
So much.
They were ready. The streets got cleaner a lot quicker than I'm used to. The main streets anyways. I think it's a slow progression. Things are getting better as far as how they're dealing with it. However, I think there's an opportunity every year within those 9 to 10 months when we aren't dealing with this to really look at it as, hey guys, let's get ahead of this. Let's really
Ambush, you're now talking about being proactive, and that just seems absolutely absurd.
All right, good points.
We got another text, and it's speaks to the point. Separating a man from his array of shovels is cold, and you're right.
That was nice.
You're right.
That was nice.
This is I've apologized, and I will do it again. Ambush, I'm apologized for. No,
wow!
Just kidding. Just
wow!
Kidding.
That was good. That was good. Let me.
There's got to be a reason here somewhere.
There's got to be something.
No, I am. I definitely, that was one of those moments of like, oh, this is like when you tell your dad that you don't need these things, and then. Yeah, actually, you did need.
I mean, honestly, I blame no parties involved, none, because there's literally nothing to apologize. That's not your weather.
It really wasn't.
You know what I'm saying? It's not your weather. And my brother was totally right about it. It was just hilarious. He was just like, "What are you doing?" Like, he slept. Like, "What are you doing?"
I was like, "I'm putting those
these on the truck." And he's like, "Why? What do you know? What are you doing?"
And it wasn't even like, I'd like those shovels. It was like, I'll figure out what to do with those shovels. But you are not taking those.
And it made complete sense, and I told you about it and we all laughed. And I was like, yeah, what was I thinking? And then it was like...
Soothsayer. Just didn't know how to read your own tea leaves or something like that.
The shovels clanged together and there was just like this ring that went around the world and just echoed.
I actually need these. but I can't remember why, so I'll just say never mind. Sorry, friends. I don't know if we meant to
go this long
tell
with
that
it.
story that long, but what an interesting, a position to be in to talk about how the roads are and how the city responds to a weather event of that magnitude.
Yeah,
I will just say before moving forward, shout out to my girlfriend Hillary, who is the snow whisperer.
Snow whisperer. Yes.
She let me know it was going to snow.
Way early, too.
Very early. So early that I was hawking the weather and watching Thursday and Friday become like what she was predicting.
Yeah.
And the news was not talking about it. Nobody was saying. So I was like, okay, so did she put me on the dark net?
You felt like Alex Jones for a second there.
I definitely did. I was like, here I am scheduling out time I got to go grocery shopping this day so that I'm not there in the madhouse and I got to do this and that.
That's hilarious.
But then it ended up being much bigger than we expected.
Events got moved around. School was it was a whole week. Kids were out. I definitely during the strike was like, so what happens during snow days? Because we will have them. That is right.
We know that the weather has changed here. We know that it may not be large snow events every time.
Right. But we're getting something at some point, even if it's in March. Yeah. That's just that. Yeah.
I'm glad that we were a bit more prepared in the way of roads and things like that. But it's amazing to me when you were saying maybe we could be a little proactive. Maybe we could be a little proactive and use those other 9-10 months out of the year to figure out how to deal in an emergency situation for the population of people that live outside, that you continuously say you want nothing more than to shelter.
Right.
And then you've got the folks that are looking for people to die, but they want to tell us how compassionate they are because they wouldn't enable drug use or something.
Right. Or maybe,
I just cannot wait. I want those people in my face so I can be like, which one of your family members is an addict that you said, I will never help you?
Right. Right. I'm sure, Renee, not allowing Portland Street Response to give out tents was helpful. I
mean, imagine coming off of that last year. You are elected, unfortunately, to city council. You say, you know what? Not in my city will I let people live outside where it rains much of the time.
Right.
I'm not going to let you have those ugly tents out on my city streets. I'm also not going to have enough places for you to go when it's so cold that you could die.
For the progressive reputation and liberal reputation that Portland has, we believe in science and things like that. And, climate change is real.
Recycle, reduce, and reuse.
Yes. I feel like we've been saying it for so long that it's just a thing that we say, and there's a lack of implementation around the things that we're saying. So it's like climate change. Add past tense. Climate changed. It has changed.
New climate, who this?
Exactly. New climate, who this?
Yeah.
And now that climate has changed, how do we change? What's the changes in the infrastructure here?
Well, if you'll remember, Donald John Trump let us know that if we would just sweep the forest floor.
Oh, yes. I forgot.
In preparation for the summer months, then we wouldn't probably have those forest fires that are, get out of control and ravage complete and total areas. So we could do that implement that one. That's
someone's president. There are people they're just...
That's the presumptive nominee for...
Yeah, there's somebody that just can't wait to run to the ballot to vote for him.
Boy, oh boy.
My guy said, sweep the forest floor.
Like, all you got to do.
This is whilst in office.
Just get a rake, you guys.
I don't think I've ever seen someone have so much access to all of the information.
Oh, yeah. And then just be like, no, thank you. And he probably doesn't hit you with the thank you. It's just like, no.
Briefings, I don't read those.
I mean, that was
on.
During the time, I believe, that he was, like, I think, if you bleach kills a bunch of stuff, if we could maybe put it on the inside, maybe, with the light or something to burn it out. Because that is exactly what you do with viruses. I wouldn't
let him clean my counter. Nevertheless, be responsible for any public health.
All over.
Have you seen these videos of, it's like a test that partners are doing on each other? It's mainly women testing the men in their lives.
Yikes. Don't do that, ladies.
They'll put a dollop of ketchup on the counter and ask him to clean it.
Okay.
And in these videos, men are grabbing like paper towels and they're just like rubbing it in circles, trying to get it up.
The test is how would you clean this mess? Yikes.
They're just making circles.
Should we add that to the kind of thing that you should know before you like live with someone or
make them your president?
Bruh. Just rubbing circles of ketchup all over the counter.
Yeah. Well, if we could just get the bleach on the inside, and then, many people say, ivermectin.
Well, so while we're talking about complete and total incompetence, I just want to make sure that we headed on back to the fact that our city government and our county, Multnomah County, you would think that they are in fact at war.
Oh yeah.
That their conflict is so complex that we wouldn't be able to, talk about it or stick our noses in that business. You would think one is like maybe withholding aid from the other or something. I don't know.
One would think.
Because in a moment where we are seeing temperatures that are not things we see here in Portland, we do not teens.
Right.
We do not stay in the 20s days on end. Like that's not it.
Right.
But in a moment when that's what's happening, it is my understanding that we have these warming shelters and emergency, plans in which warming stations are opened in order to keep people who are not warm. That does not mean you must be unhoused. That means that maybe your power went out. You're supposed to be able to go somewhere so that you do not die overnight. Because what we definitely know is it gets colder overnight.
Oh, yeah. As soon as that sun falls, as soon as there's a sunset, which happens around 5 p.m.
4:42.
4:42.
So it's my understanding that once it becomes freezing, we're talking 32 degrees, those warming stations are opening up.
Is that your understanding? Because that's not what's happening. Oh.
Why don't you tell us what's happening?
The temperature that it needs to hit for the warming stations to open is actually below freezing.
Is it 25 degrees?
It is actually 25 degrees. And those stations will open till the evening, like 8 p.m., 8 p.m. Yeah.
Well, Ambush, if that's the case, if they open at 25 degrees, why would they close at 25 degrees? Because that's when they would normally open.
Right.
Okay, so the absurdity, I think that like the fact that they closed warming stations while it was 25 degrees and while it was not dry. It was not dry. We continued to have a winter mix.
Yeah.
We continued to have
everywhere.
Freezing rain. There's slush. There's ice everywhere when they closed them. full blown ICE. And they're saying it was, hard to staff and, you're relying on volunteers. Again, if we could have a second of being proactive, if we could have a moment, it is not that you don't know how, maybe you don't know how many down to the, person. But what you definitely know is where folks are. You know where encampments are.
Yeah.
You know where you could go and get people and get them safe and get them warm and get them fed. And instead, you're like, I opened the doors, guys. What else do you want from me?
Come on.
If you can get here, get here. And then on top of that, once you are here, I'm probably going to kick you out and close the doors because I really want to get next to the fire. And here's the thing. It's incredibly dangerous when there's ice on the road. And I get not wanting to be a part of that. I also would not be the volunteer then.
Right.
If you are not able, if you are not willing, if you are, then you don't sign up for that shift. And I understand things happen and you could well-meaning and you couldn't get out of your house. Cool. That's the thing. For them to decide, it would just be too difficult to get people to come. It would just be too difficult to say, sorry, guys, we were going to close, but now we're going to be open because the weather changed. As if that isn't a part of it.
Right. Like adjustments can't be made on the fly.
Exactly.
Can't call
like
audible.
The amount of adjustments you have to make when you're just running a 2-hour event. You know what I'm saying? Let alone here you are supposed to be something that people can sleep in overnight.
I never want to hear that we don't have enough resources to do the right thing when they're sitting on millions of dollars all over the place.
Absolutely choosing how to use resources.
Yeah.
And when, because poverty is a policy choice.
Right.
None of this has to happen.
None.
We are making it be.
Yeah.
And in that time where officials have the ability to sit in their warm homes or go to a warm house that is a friend, a family, whatever, or a hotel. Or I don't know, it looked like Ted Wheeler left. Looked like Mans was getting sun somewhere.
Might have been in Cabo.
Threw on a flannel like, hey guys, you are not fooling me.
Sorry.
This guy is way too great.
Sorry. Yeah.
For them to be able to make the decision to close the only thing that may keep people alive in those moments and not have to be held to account for the people that did in fact die is sickening. Sickening.
They talked about shortage of personnel. And here's an idea. I hope it's not a unique one. I hope someone has already mentioned this idea. And I hope someone gets in trouble for not using it previously. But here's an idea. Why don't you hire some of the houseless population to work in the warming centers? Those that may have experienced houselessness and maybe they're in one of these transitional
places.
Yeah. Why not bring them in? Since we're so shorthanded and they need work and, we want to get them employed. We want to make them earn every dollar, Why not have them come in and maybe fill in the gaps, maybe, get some leadership roles, most informed on what it feels like and the challenges around that. What? There are too many people. There are too many people here. And there's always that hurdle of volunteering and how much work is really involved and how much are people getting paid. And it's just pay people, pay them, pay. I don't care if you're upset that someone that's working in a warming station who's in transitional housing is making more than you. I don't care. Do you want to do the work? Huh? Sideline actor.
Are you fighting for that position?
Yeah. Is something you even want to do? Do you understand how hard the work possibly is? Do you? No? You just, can't pay them $30 an hour. Why? Like there's just too many solutions. There's just way too many.
There
like you said,
are.
it's leaning directly into this is a policy choice. Don't play on our faces and pretend like this is something you're actually trying to solve.
That's it. It's absolutely that. At least to me. We got a couple of other texts.
Oh, yeah.
One says, Happy Thursday, fiancés. XOXO, Phantom of the Studio.
Studio A.
Phantom of Studio A.
Rudes.
Happy Thursday. And the other one, News with My Fiancé, is the warming station for my cold, cold heart.
Man, shout out to Rudo. You got affected by this. Fan Expo. You're set, man. Sheesh. I hope they're going to slot you into the next one or something.
There were definitely a weekend of just like, we'll see you next time, I guess. And then the other things were like, maybe we can push it to next week.
Yeah.
But definitely. Mostly like, all right, shut her down.
Wrap on that.
Yeah.
I mean, that's major to have a convention have to shut down.
Listen, if the Max ain't running, baby, we ain't doing a bunch of conventioning over here at the center.
We ain't doing a lot of concert or playing.
Not at all.
Man.
Not at all.
Let's do it.
So we'll just run down what we're going to talk about.
Yeah. Let's do it.
Since we didn't get to be here last week, we kind of left on a hot one, as they call it, as they say
Heated
in the streets. It was
from Beyonce.
I was upset.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Rightfully so.
And I wanted so badly to focus some of that and just sort of finish the thoughts and responses or whatever. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I was like, I'm going to do it in the stories. Mm-hmm. I'm going to figure this out. And then, everything happened. Everything. All of it.
Yeah.
All of it happened. Everywhere all at once.
Yes.
And I didn't get that done. And then I said to Ambush, I think I and even within this time of not being able to be there, it just keeps getting worse.
Right.
So I just want to, wrap that up, finish that up from,
put a bow on it.
Just put a bow on it. Land that plane, as they say.
Want to lean into, give people an idea of where we were for anyone that missed that? Because it's not on the playback. I don't think so. That was like at the 9:06. Things kind of turned up a little bit there.
I honestly don't know.
Okay.
Because that's not how my memory works. What I know is there was, some Joe Byron slander, as Ambush calls it.
Not on our show.
And, I do want to say that I do appreciate opposing views, and I do appreciate having conversations about things. So I will say that I don't know that I'm sorry, but I definitely could have handled one of those text messages differently. But I will say that when you tell a person to get over it, when it is, I don't know,
genocide,
literally mass intentional murder, I can't. And I won't actually apologize for that. It makes me sad that that's something that anybody could say, get over it.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a lot to go there. There's a lot to say. There's a lot to unpack, as it were. Mm-hmm. And the thing is, if that's how you live it, that's how you live it. And if you can just do the, I ain't tripping, good on you, I suppose. But it would be confusing that you would want to listen to us, because that's not the point. The point is to not just continue to do the same thing we have always done. And it is usually a certain age bracket that has that attitude of, God, get over it. Mm-hmm. NBD.
Mm-hmm.
And I would say that age bracket has been doing this same circuitous dance longer than I have.
Yeah.
And at some point, I'd love to see you be tired of it.
Yeah, just busy work. So I'm glad we get to jump back into that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? In other national news or issues, conversation, Moms for Liberty appointment opens the doors to right-wing nonsense.
Well, when you are deciding that you will appoint a mom for liberty or a social media influencer that, created libs of TikTok.
Oh my God.
To be on your library board. The right-wing nonsense was already happening. You you were like, oh, everybody should know what we do in here.
Right. An extension of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then in local news, I don't know if y'all know, but Renee Gonzalez, there's about 18 stories we could get into with that one.
Yeah.
But he has been busy making some new Nazi sympathizer friends on Twitter or X or Elon Musty, whatever you call it. But it is really something to see, a mayoral candidate liking, and I get it. This could be his intern.
Even more to the point.
Yeah,
that's the culture. Cool. Right.
Exactly.
This is who you have around you, sir.
The point is, this is your forward facing, account as a city commissioner.
Come on, bro.
As a sitting city commissioner and mayoral candidate, you out here liking tweets from known. Like if you are in Portland and you are a part of community that is just trying to get some equity for other people, these folks. You know these accounts. You know those people in real life. You know that they exist.
Yep.
You know that Andy No is a propagandist and is one of the most laughable losers there's ever been to ever be.
Yeah.
So when you are got him or you're retweeting or you're, hey man, you are showing every piece of your hand. So we can talk about that.
I really don't understand how politicians that are so divisive want to convince us that they want to properly govern us all. I like publicly divisive, like Vivek with the whole Juneteenth is a wasted holiday. You're running for president of the entire United States. Do you not want anyone black to vote for you? You go to these white spaces and you say Juneteenth is a waste of a holiday. Okay, but then you were just on Breakfast Club. Like, I don't get it. And Renee, here you are. You're running for mayor, and you're cozying up to Nazi sympathizers, bro.
I mean, I guess, yeah. And then also people that just call themselves neo-Nazis.
Right.
I think that if you self-identify as a neo-Nazi and then you're like, hey, that moderate Democrat really gets my vote, make it make sense.
It won't. Okay.
Catch us on the flip.
You're going to do this on the flip-flop?
Yeah.
On this music break. And we're back. A little Cali Uchis for you. Another day in America. Make sure I add that to the episode notes.
Yes.
Sometimes I'll be forgetting, man.
Don't mess it up. Do it right now.
Yeah,
I will. there could be that.
Whatever that Obama slips in, just do it right up.
Do it right up. Don't even wait.
Seize the moment.
Somebody has to. And that's all I know.
So we did get a couple of texts. Fiancé, Magical Thursday, my loves. Can I just say, get over it in my Valley Girl voice? What a effing puke.
Nice.
It was probably Renee's anyway.
Real.
Oh, boo-hoo. We are the same. We're on the same page?
It says, oh, boo-boo, we are on the same page.
Oh, we're on the same page. Gotcha. Okay. Last night's magical moon.
Oh, and then there's pictures, so I can't.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Oh.
Okay.
I didn't mean to scream in you guys' ears there. Sorry. That photo just caught me off guard. Nice.
I was head down helping Tempo with studying for her Spanish final.
Right. There's a flex on this.
Oh, okay, can't see it.
In the corner, it's watermarked Galaxy S22.
Oh, that's a good phone.
It's a
No wonder that picture is so crystal clear. Huh?
Oh, that's a good
Just
phone.
get straight to the moon.
That's a good phone. Look at that.
Come on,
Oh, I love
Samsung.
that. Yeah, that's dope.
These pictures are beautiful.
Yeah.
Thank you, Fiancé.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
We got another one that says people are still very big mad at Fan Expo for encouraging people to come out all 3 days.
Wow.
No, they did not.
That's wild.
Even after travel advisories were issued against it, Max was out and they emailed vendors who set up on Friday but couldn't get back Saturday that they would be charged storage fees.
What?
Pass holders are still waiting to hear if they're getting refunded.
Oh,
Yikes.
no.
Oh.
So let me get this straight. Let me get this straight.
Big. I'm big, very mad too.
Oh, Ludo, we gotta get you on the podcast. Has no name. We gotta talk about this. You're charging them storage fees to make up for what?
Yeah, because you didn't refund anybody.
You didn't refund anybody.
So you've lost nothing yet.
Yeah.
And you're gonna charge folks. Wow.
Maybe. No, I don't get it.
Mouth wide open.
Maybe it's
that is such a bad just event management move.
Yeah, take the loss. Everyone's taking the loss.
You got to take the L.
Maybe they were trying to offset the cost of the personalities that they had to compensate for signing and all of that, and people didn't get a chance to buy, passes in the day to go get their things autographed. You have to take the loss.
Yeah,
this was what do they call that?
An act of God.
Act of God.
Like,
yeah,
there's definitely a contractual out here.
I am befuddled.
But more than anything, yeah, you got to take the L on that as the event producer. If that's what it is.
Yeah.
I hear you on there's going to be fees that had to be paid if those people had already showed up and they made it here. And, I fully understand. But you are not likely running an event that big in the way of having so many names and, and counting on the door. Like you are, there's money that you know that you have in order to pay all those people.
Right.
And you cannot just withhold the vendors. You cannot make vendors pay more money. Storage fees. I set up on time. I did what I was supposed to do. I can't get back there because the ground is ice.
I wonder what happened with event staff. Those hours. Whoop.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, that's rough. Follow-up says, yeah, I was selected to be an Oregon ambassador for Fan Expo the week before, and now, I don't know. Yeah.
Yikes.
I mean, they got time to make that right-ish.
Yeah, they do. They do.
But that's the kind of thing that a community doesn't easily forget. So,
oh no,
if you keep my money, and now you come. When's the next time they come?
Next year.
Oh, it's just once.
Yeah, Fan Expo, then Rose City, then Fan Expo, then Rose City.
So the next time you come, really, all that needs to be is if you are like, I can't offer refunds, you offer your entry is valid for the next Fan Expo.
Yeah, something, man.
You got to do that. And you have a certain amount of people that are getting in free. Which is not really free. They paid.
Yeah.
And they didn't get the thing.
Paid.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Wow. Okay. Well,
yeah.
I'm going to do my very level best to not spend too much time on Joe Byron, on what is bothersome to me, I guess, in the way of discourse and discussion and critical thinking when it comes to what are the things that are important. And so I'll just say, number one, we all have different things that are important to us. That I absolutely understand that. I know that everything that's important to me is not going to be the same level of importance to someone else. And I don't expect that. What I want us to think about is where we are right now is what? We are in the primary. We are in the moment when there's a million candidates for whatever the elected position is, but we will be specific. The presidential candidate, there's a whole bunch of them. And this is the time that you do the narrowing down.
Right.
This is not the time that you do there's no way anybody else could do anything in this, so we just won't even look or speak or pay attention to. And it doesn't just frustrate or sadden me. It is the kind of thing that is infuriating to continuously do this and hear those same talking points of, well, we can't talk bad about Joe Byron right now, you know?
Right.
Trump. Yeah, like we are not going to get to continue to boogeyman our way through this kind of stuff, especially when the person you're saying is the lesser of two evils is doing evil directly in your face right now, and not just doing the evil, but telling you I'm not doing evil. Actually, this all absolutely makes sense, and it isn't what you think it is.
Right.
It's honestly too complex for you to even comprehend.
And when you try to comprehend, you're doing the evil.
Hello.
Learn about it.
Learn about it. Thought you thought.
Yeah.
It is. Okay, so that person had said that told me to get over it. Also said something to the effect that I didn't see until we were done of like, how are you going to get rid of the electoral college, or how are you going to change the entire system as the one person that you are? And that is another thing that's like, if you could stop skipping a whole bunch of steps to make a really bad point, that would really be a great way to start. Because skipping over everything that we are talking about, again, I say we are in the primary. This is not even a moment where we're talking about the general election.
Right.
And for as much as we want to skip past all of the steps that gets to that general election, and the way that media right now is just basically telling us that we are in the general election, we aren't.
Yeah.
And making everyone presumptive, making the incumbent presumptive, it tells me, especially when it's this incumbent, when it is this cognitive level where we're at, you actually don't care if we win. You know what I mean? Like, you don't care. And I don't mean you individually. I mean the Democratic National Party as, you know, as a organization, as the place that is supposed to make sure that they are funding candidates and securing wins. They don't care if they win, if they're just going to say, hey guys, we're running the guy we know you said you don't want.
Right.
And we will not hear anything else. Thank you. I will not be taking questions.
To your point, didn't we just find out recently, maybe like a day or two ago, that they omitted Biden from a ballot? It's like they were like, we don't.
Well, so yeah, so in New Hampshire.
New Hampshire.
Biden wasn't on the ballot because the DNC doesn't want New Hampshire to be in the slot. The you know, what are they called? The order. They don't want them to be where they are in the order of these weird primaries that we have to, you know, put names in hats in Iowa and everybody loses their minds. And then they did a write-in campaign for Joe Robinette Byron. In the primary, y'all, you should have wrote cheesecake.
Yeah. Yeah.
You literally should have wrote a few of my favorite things. It should not have ever been his name as a write-in. What is a write-in for? Why is that the route we're going? They said it is not, we don't want New Hampshire to do the primary at the time that they're doing it. Right. We want South Carolina or something to go first. So we won't even participate. I'm sorry. You are unserious.
Nah. Very unserious. Very unserious.
And the idea that let's do that matchup again because I beat Trump last time. And so I'll do it again. If you can't fathom the difference of being I've never been the president before, and look, now I've been the president for 4 years, and now people are basing their reason for voting on your most recent track record, not you being Obama's hype man, or you being, in the Senate telling us how much of a Zionist you are.
Right.
We do not have to have the answer or the blueprint to every single new way to vote or how to get rid of the Electoral College. But specifically, don't bring that to us when we talk about the ridiculousness of the Electoral College.
All the time.
All the time.
All the time. I was obsessed with it. All the time.
But I don't have to have that blueprint. I don't have to have the new system to put in place in order to critique the one that we're living in. And I'm not going to ask for the current system to kindly change its rules where it is literally set up to rig elections. I don't think it's going to just stop because we were like, oh, wait, we figured out what happens here.
Right. Could you guys please?
Could you please just get rid of that and let the way that voting, let it be what you told us it was.
Right.
One person, one vote. Could we just have that? They're not going to just be like, yeah, you're right.
Thanks for mentioning that.
I wonder why we ever did that in the first place. It didn't have anything to do with changing the way that the outcomes of the elections. It didn't have anything to do with that.
No, you guys are right. The popular vote should have always mattered. Sure.
The two-party system as it is creates an environment where people are consistently campaigning. They are not governing.
No.
They are not getting certain things done. They are not making their campaign promises true and all of that. They are consistently campaigning because they want to stay in power more than they want to help citizens.
Yep.
And that doesn't, that not only does that not work, but it must be replaced. It has to be, you have to get diversity of thought in there because the diversity of thought within what we know the parties as today is vast on its own.
Yeah. Yep.
But right now, there are more independent people. And the way that, certain states are set up, if you are a registered independent, you can't vote in a primary that is a Democratic or Republican primary. You have to choose.
Right.
And when it comes down to it, you are talking about a president who is currently being called Genocide Joe. You're going to have to do more than Trump worse. You're going to have to do more than just say, I don't, orange man bad.
Right.
It is the 110th day of this bombardment. It is the 57th year of the Israeli government occupying and controlling Palestine. Joe Biden has been an elected politician for almost as long as Israel has occupied Palestine.
Bruh.
I want you to sit in that because he's been proudly talking about being a Zionist for 52 years as an elected politician.
All Israel over everything.
52 years.
Imagine.
This is not this bombardment, this war on Gaza would not be possible without the U.S. support.
Right.
Everybody said Trump is terrible and all of those things. And I remember the last time we did this when everyone was saying Trump bad, Biden lesser of two evils, must do, that there was this thought, this marketing campaign is what I would really call it, of people saying, yes, Joe Biden, not great, but at least we can hold him accountable. At least we can pull him in. At least we can make sure he doesn't go too far to the right. Is this the same Joe Biden that bypassed Congress?
Right.
To greenlight the arms sales? Is this the same Joe Biden that blocked efforts to secure a ceasefire? Is this the same Joe Biden getting sued right now for being complicit in genocide? Like, yo, our collective inaction and apathy to all of these things is how you get a Donald Trump even being able to run for president again as somebody who is currently sitting with 99 indictments on the wall. Because if a felon in a certain state can't vote, why can this dude run to be the president? Why would he be able to continue to be the president if he wins? If he wins and he is convicted, there is nothing that says, okay, get him out of office.
Right.
Because it is completely ridiculous that we have not in any way adapted, taken a look at. Like, you know how many companies spend all of their resources doing strategic plans?
Right.
We don't even have one. We wouldn't even think about having a strategic plan for a country. Like, so when we are dealing with things like reckoning with understanding things that you have been told your entire life, like all these groups of people are terrorists and we are actually patriots. Right. And yada, who gets to be called a terrorist and who doesn't? How's that work? There are people demanding hostages to be released, right? John, looking at you, John Fetterman, demanding to get people back, but not saying to Israel, do the demands, meet the demands.
Right.
No one's saying to Israel, do different so that you get a different result.
Right. You have Israeli citizens right now that are protesting outside of Netanyahu's house because they turned down he refuses to negotiate.
And I want you to understand just how little the Israeli population is being given truth-wise on what the conflict is and what it looks like. And it is very American, the way that is being handled, in the way that, you could be not that far from it and still be like, this is all Hamas.
Right.
The disproportionality of violence has to matter because it's off the charts. It has to matter. Like, Palestine is under occupation. Hamas is a militia.
Period.
That's a militia. That is not Israel's U.S. and UK-backed military force.
Right.
Those are not the same. And folks are making it very clear who they consider valuable or human when they can't be bothered to recognize the difference between almost 1,200 people being killed on October 7th and the entirely purposeful decimation of Gaza and the West Bank. 26,000 people are confirmed dead. 64,000 people are confirmed severely wounded. And there are thousands missing. There are thousands presumed dead under the rubble. There are children exploding from the inside out. And I'm sorry, I should have said content warning. Due to the shock waves of the bunker buster bombs that they are using, dropping down on a place that ain't got no bunkers. And guess who knows there are no bunkers?
The people dropping the bombs.
They are targeting hospitals. They are targeting where people are getting aid right now. Right now. 20 killed, 150 wounded as aid seekers are targeted. They are encircling hospitals. They being the IDF. They being the people that are telling you that they have the right to defend themselves. These are war crimes. And I don't actually care at all if the International Court of Justice ever recognizes these things as such. The definitions already exist. And us changing the definitions in real time to suit whatever narrative the people with the most money have, that's on them. That's on them. That's on y'all. I'm not doing it. ethnic cleansing is ethnic cleansing. And I don't understand how it can be something that we are told to either get over or look the other way or worry about what's happening just here. Mm-hmm. Let me tell you how some of that connects. Joe Biden is telling you that what he wants is a unified country. He wants, I don't know, somebody's dream that all the kids will play together.
Right.
What's he doing to create that reality? He isn't doing it to create the reality here, and he is taking our money and killing brown babies elsewhere.
Right.
Globally. We are now shelling and bombing Yemen? Y'all mad that people got involved? Y'all mad that people said, hey, man, what you're doing is genocide? Actually, I'm not going to make it easy for your trade to continue to happen. Now, you guys are going to try and sanction the Houthis? If you would stop, they would stop.
Period.
There is a point when we have to be like, you don't have to be a political science major or an army general to understand that there are things that you could do to stop the things that you don't want to happen.
What I find like even more disgusting about the situation and this administration's position is, like you said, he's running for, president again. It was to govern all of the U.S. citizens. What's the message to Palestinian Americans during this time? Like, not even thoughts and prayers, just no acknowledgement of their existence whatsoever.
What you mean?
We got Palestinian Americans here? We do that? Land of the free? Really? They're here?
Watching Adam Schiff say, I can't get over the atrocities of October 7th.
Oh, my God.
I just can't move past that. And there are American hostages. How could we not want to get them back? Do you want to get them back, or do you want to talk about it? Or do you just want to decimate? Because it certainly seems like decimating is really the goal.
Right.
They have ruined the infrastructure of so many places that there is no place to return to.
No.
Not that they would have a passport or any, government issued thing that says you have the right to return, because what Israel is saying is you don't actually.
They're bulldozing colleges. They're bulldozing museums. They are raising cemeteries. They are completely destroying the culture and communities. Gone. There's nothing to come back to.
No.
It's very purposeful. Very, very purposeful.
This isn't defending.
Yeah, no.
You did the defending.
These are unoccupied locations that you're now just doing demolitions
just like
on.
What you won't have is a water pipe.
Yeah.
What you won't have is sewage. Like, we're not going to do it.
And where do you think they're going to get the dollars to rebuild? Huh?
That healthcare that you want.
Yeah. Well, what contractors?
The healthcare that you deserve. The education that you deserve. The housing aid that we deserve. Gone. So that another country can target hospitals. And they can target where people are getting aid. I don't know. There used to be a thing where it was like, hey guys, we're with the Red Cross. You actually can't mess with us. We're just, hey guys, I'm press. You actually can't. It's been too many years of us seeing the Israeli government pick journalists off.
Right. All this is normal now.
It's completely normalized. But what I will not do is normalize any of that and say we could get over it. Because again, this is the primary. This is actually the perfect time to talk about every other candidate that could do better for us.
Yeah.
This is the time. And they'll never be viable if we only talk about them as if they can't win. Like, are we not tired of this same old cycle? At some point, we have to act. We have to do something different than we did before. There are how many presidential cycles, Ambush? How many wars or conflicts? coups, acts of domestic terrorism, drug epidemics, financial and housing crashes,
Right.
drastic climate changes. How many people do the police have to kill on camera for you to act? For you to hold powerful people responsible for the decisions they're making?
Right.
Hold them accountable by not rewarding them with extended positions of power. Literally change the system. In the moments that we have where someone is elected and before, we get another person who has committed many felonies to run, we have to change things. We have to adapt. Is it not that if you don't adapt, you die out? Like, what are we doing here?
And you have to demand that change. We're
going to keep doing this over and over and over. Like, Ambush, I'm sorry, I spent way too much time on this. I will try and just wrap this by saying...
Please do not. We got texts all over this. Let's go.
There's just so much. I'm really tired of certain comparisons, but like if Obama had 99 indictments, we would have a whole brand new constitution.
Yeah.
If there were groups of black men being the Proud Boys, we would have a brand new constitution.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
We are in what, for me, feels like the never-ending story. And I'm not with it. I want no parts. I want us to prosper. I do not want us to lament every single day.
Right.
But we have to do something. It is these are systems of oppression. And I am hopeful that the more that each of us learn about those systems as tools of oppression, the less you'll want to rely on them as they are. Because they are not built to be relied upon unless you are a benefiter of it. And even those that benefit from it are also harmed by it.
Yep.
I mean, the stupidity, the ignorance of people that are just, at this point, just could not have a different view. There's just, it's
that lack of imagination. It's that lack of imagination you had to, remind me of. Like that's where we are with a lot of this, It's a foregone conclusion.
Yeah, if we continuously believe that everything that happens here is a foregone conclusion, we will never be, there will be no change.
Yeah. Yep. I need, as a text says, I need to have someone much smarter than me. On how to navigate my loathing to vote for X or Y and feeling like voting for a third party is beneficial to one of the two old lizards. Suddenly serious rubes. Yeah. Yes. Man, couple more. Yes. Open the door. Say it again. 57 years.
Yeah, listen, I want to stop talking about October 7th and not in the way that's not, I'm not like, yay, that happened. But we're going to have to stop pretending like there aren't root causes to everything that happens.
Right.
When October 7th is a response. It's a response to occupation. 57 years of occupation.
Right.
Also, Israel knew it was happening, so I'm over it.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So they went from hold my earrings, F this, nasty bastards. The purpose is what's under the earth that they want. They don't care about the blood they spill on top of it.
Talk to them.
Yeah. And that was the whole part. I love church Thursdays. Yeah, man. We can't be here every 4 years, guys. We can't be here every 4 years. And if there's any lesson to be learned from this and the U.S. Complicity in what we're seeing happening in Gaza, it's just to understand that this has been the American way.
Bruh.
And, we didn't have Instagram. We didn't have TikTok. We didn't have access. but this is how the U.S. has been conducting itself in globally since its inception. It just has. And at some point, if we want to live up to this ideal of being this so amazing place, there's a cost to that, right? There's a cost to it. It's going to take some sweat. It's going to take some uncomfortable conversations at the very least. It's going to take some face-to-face confrontations. This don't come easy. The freedoms that we have been lied to about enjoying, if you really want them, it's not coming easy. It's not coming easy because we don't have them. We don't have them. Do you feel free left to vote for Joe Biden and Donald Trump? Do you act in that moment? Do you feel free right now?
No, and I just want to add to that point of, because at some point it does come down to the people that you got to, the finale.
Right.
We are not there yet. We're, we're a year away from that. And you have people coming to the conclusion that the only thing that could be is the rematch that no one wants.
Oh my gosh.
And that rematch is dangerous. And we are not paying enough attention to the way that politicians are able to literally just spit in our face and tell us it's raining.
Yeah. Right in our face.
There's got to be a moment when we say, hey, man, I'm actually not going to take these lies anymore. I'm actually not going to do it. You're not going to do the student loans. You're not going to do.
Right.
And yes, I understand that there are some student loans that have been semi-forgiven and for everything that folks are like, Joe Byron did this thing. I can counter.
Right.
I don't want to, but so it'd be cool if we had candidates that we didn't have that we couldn't counter every one of their good things with one of their worst things.
The two of their worst things.
We have to want more. We have to change it. The people that benefit from and are in power are not ever going to be like, actually, I don't want this anymore.
Right.
Let's do it a different way. All right. I'll be quiet.
We are voting under duress. See you on the side of this music break. And we are back. This is my fiance with Morgan Jones and DJ Ambush. We are within like the last 10, 12 minutes of the show. And we didn't even get a chance to get to the other stories, but there was a through line. There's always that connective thread when we're talking about the things that drive us up the wall.
Shout out to The Wire. It's all connected.
It's all connected. So we were talking about, we were following up on the conversation that ended one of our previous shows and just what our choices look like right now in the general election and how we should and shouldn't be responding to criticisms against Joe Biden and, the mishandling, the underhandling of the current genocide that we are funding. And the other two stories we were going to be talking about today involved, on the local side of things, Rene Gonzalez and his new bedfellows, social media bedfellows, and Chaya Raycheck. Libs for TikTok.
Libs of
TikTok account founder.
Yes.
Who is now part of the process of selecting what books will make it into Oklahoma schools, or what books will be omitted from Oklahoma schools. And she was appointed by the superintendent. It was like, yeah, we need to cut through the malarkey and get people who really care about our kids involved in the process.
Yeah, man.
Hey.
This is a through line for our show altogether, not just this show, but really truly paying attention to who people are. They keep telling us who they are. We keep deciding to not believe them. And
right.
We should just believe them. Renee Gonzalez has lied to us, I don't know, countless times.
Mm.
But one of the most egregious is the shifting of what of that Overton window of if he's a moderate Democrat, then yeah, Tina Kotek is a far left communist.
Oh my God.
Right? Like, that's the point. The point isn't about what is electable. The point is changing what we find acceptable.
Right.
There is not one plan that Renee Gonzalez has presented that is humane. Not one. There is not one plan that he has actually enacted that made any sense. He told us that Portland Street Response was something that wouldn't work, that we needed to get rid of, that, he also said, let's see what happens with it, and then didn't fund it.
Right.
Helped to create an environment of dissent, of dysfunction within Portland Street Response and Portland Fire.
Because he said it was just too much of a stress on Portland Fire.
When the entire program is meant to alleviate stress from current emergency responders, that's police, that's fire, they have an EMT with them.
Right.
The point is so that the fire folks get to go to the fires and the police folks get to go to the crimes. Right?
And Portland Street Response gets to respond to the streets.
They get to respond to things that don't need those other two entities.
Right.
Let's ease a burden here. And instead, what did Renee do? He was like, Portland Street Response sucks. I'm going to make Portland Fire do Portland Street Response. And that's what we're going to do now.
And we're going to call it chat.
Like, I don't know how anybody doesn't look at him and go, quit wasting my time and my money.
Right. Get out of here.
Why would that be okay? Why is that a fix? Isn't that doing the thing didn't they tell you they need a break?
Right.
And you just added a whole new level of responsibilities to those folks?
Like, off the rip, you see that and should be able to come to the conclusion, oh, you cannot be my mayor. You don't know what you're doing. You plan on wasting my time all 2024, 5, 6, however long that goes.
We're choosing what matters in those moments. We're choosing what to believe from these people. We are deciding that who supports them doesn't really matter. But let me explain to you just how important it is. You do not see neo-Nazis. You do not see people that are actually calling for the murder death of people. You don't see them saying, I love me a moderate Democrat. I love voting for the Democrats.
Bruh.
I just wish they would, cut my taxes. These are not the issues that they're talking about.
Right. At all. We got a pretty solid text here. That's it. Progressives in the city will not listen. They don't want to they don't want to believe that they elected a Nazi sympathizer, Renee Gonzalez, to office. We, white people, need to wake up.
Where's the bang, bang,
ding,
ding.
We need
all sorts of soundboards right now.
Crash of cymbals. I need to play the triangle, something.
I will just say, do we think that progressives are the ones who voted Renee in? Because I don't know that progressives were fooled by Renee.
So I'll say this, and you and I have had this.
I can be wrong.
You and I have had this conversation a couple of times over the last couple of weeks. There's the left, there's progressives, and there's where we are. Like,
okay.
like you said, the Overton window is shifting. There's so much happening. Like, but even within that, it's like, even amongst some of the progressives, we're like, what are you talking about? Why are you calling yourself progressive? Because that ain't it.
Yeah. Okay. Fair. I mean, bottom line to me is, in order to be a progressive, that means you want advancement.
It's in the word. Progress.
You want progress, and you want it for all people. You don't want to separate in those moments. Intersectionality is one of your favorite words.
Right.
You know, like in order to advance, in order to progress, in order to do any of the things that we as people can, should, all the that we can do, and to get the things that we deserve, there is people power. And I'm not pretending like it'd be an easy thing to get everyone to be on the same page. But if we're all going to be in this boat that's talking about progress and working for progress, but what you really mean is something different, then
that ain't it.
You gotta give yourself a different.
Yeah.
Until you, I don't know, read more books or change or, you know, have a life experience that puts you in a place where you do, in fact, wake up.
Yeah. Yeah.
But don't go woke, because then you'll be broke, and then and life's a joke or something like that. Okay, we gotta end on this text right here.
Okay.
Question: when the community wins the White House ever, can we effing paint it? And the answer is yes. Yes.
Oh, look at Billy. Ooh.
Oh, you got the pictures up. Oh, that's a cute doggy.
Yes.
It's a real cute doggy.
It's a great Thursday.
Fiancés,
yeah, can we
today
pay
has been wonderful. I should apologize. I'll first apologize to Ambush for producing 2 stories that we didn't get to. That is hard work, and I'm apologizing.
Your apology goes unaccepted.
Oh.
Because this was a stellar show. And that's the objective here, right? We want to give our listeners peak performances, stellar engagement. And that's what they received today. Mm-hmm. You know? Hey, stories are stories, bruh. All this means is we got to get ourselves in action to find out where this other hours are going to come from. That they've been asking for us, and that we need to make happen. So yes.
Well, peace be with you all, fiancés. Hope the rest of the week is amazing. Go do some Joe Byron slander. Use your imagination. Man.
What's that from, Willy Wonka? The Imagination song? Yeah, I gotta find that. Yeah.
Yeah, pure imagination.
Yeah. So this was News of My Fiancé. Brought to you by Morgan Jones and DJ Ambush and our amazing podcast editor, Kyle G. Thank you for everyone that texted in. The songs are updated in the episode notes. I did my job this week. Very happy about that. And remember, man, don't let the individuals distract you from the systems. Poverty is a policy choice. People over profits. Power to the people. None of us are free until we're all free. I'm going to say that again. None of us are free until we're all free. Thank you so much for listening.
Bye.